Hi everybody, welcome to Sandi Cooks. Tonight, if you like Indian food, you're going to get a treat because I'm going to be making butter chicken, which is a delicious, savory tomato and cream based chicken curry served with basmati rice. And maybe I'll do a green bean or something on the side. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be making. I've got a recipe that I've been using for a few years. I'll show you how to mix up all the herbs and spices for that, and we have to set that up to marinate for at least 30 minutes, or you can actually do it overnight if you want. Mine's going to go for a couple hours, I think, and then we grill it, and then we make the sauce and put it all together. So it's actually pretty easy, but there is a two-step process. So come along with me, and we will make butter chicken. Thanks. Okay, so I got my recipe here. You guys can't see that, of course, but I'll talk you through it. So it's pretty straightforward. First thing we're going to do is add a tablespoon of lime juice. Unfortunately, I don't have fresh, so I'm going to use this bottled stuff, but it'll be better if you use fresh. So if you got fresh, use fresh. I would say that about everything, actually. Okay, tablespoon of lime juice. Says to use a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper, which I'm not going to use because that'll be way too hot. It'll blow my wife's head off, which I don't feel like doing tonight. Anyway, I will add a little bit. You can adjust this. If you like it spicier, add more. You don't like it so spicy, don't add as much. I'm going to add, I'm adding less than an eighth, because this is a quarter teaspoon here. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm using less than half. Just a little tiny bit of heat to this. All right. Then it calls for 3/4 of a teaspoon of sweet paprika. Really important that it be sweet and not the spicy stuff. Although in an Indian dish, it might be fine with the spicy. All right, that's a half. Here's our quarter. You know what? Just get this cayenne pepper out of there so we don't contaminate our paprika. All right, there's our paprika. Then it says 2 teaspoons of gram masala. I'll tell you about another substitution I'm gonna make. Did I make this? Oh, the lime juice. Another substitution I'm gonna make in just a few seconds here, because I don't have yogurt, but I do have sour cream, and they both have. They're both a little similar, so I think it'll be okay. All right, now comes our 1/4 cup plain full-fat yogurt. Oops, sorry, no, it doesn't. I lied. Salt is next. 1½ teaspoons. 1½ Okay. Now the yogurt. Here's what I'm going to do with this. All right, this is 8 ounces of sour cream, which is a cup. So I'm literally going to take 1/4 of this. And, you know, I don't know if this is going to work. I hope it's going to work. How much different is sour cream than yogurt? It hasn't gone through a cheesecloth, but essentially it's the same. It's got the bacteria in it, right? Okay, next thing, yogurt, minced garlic. A tablespoon of minced garlic from about 3 cloves. All right, I'm going to wet my knife, as I always tell you to do when you're working with garlic, because garlic has sugars in it, and it's sticky, gets sticky. Put that over in my compost. Whoops, I just lost some garlic or some paper to the floor. Get that in a second. That spices smell good already. Okay. What did I do down here? All right. A little garlic and a little paper. Wash off the garlic. I said wash off. All right. Do a quick rinse on this. See how quickly this goes when you've got the right tools. I got a nice big cutting board here to use. I got my chef's knife going and just chop away. I'm gonna go a little finer on this still. Just go slow. You can see how big the chunks are. And you can kind of stay in an area, and I keep missing this one little chunk over here. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Garlic. Not a crap ton, though. All right, and then it calls for a 2-inch piece of fresh peeled ginger root. And I'm just going to do this the easy way. I know there's all kinds of videos and stuff on YouTube about, oh, use a spoon to do your ginger. But, you know, you can do that. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It saves more ginger. You get more ginger to use. It's a lovely thing. But gosh, it takes too long. I don't have that kind of time to take 10 minutes scraping off my ginger here. So I would much rather, I don't do this for everything, but for ginger, I do tend to just cut away. And then they want this minced as well. You could probably get away with grated ginger for this if you wanted to, but fresh, again, just like your fresh garlic and your fresh lime juice that I didn't use, is going to be better. Always use fresh if you can. All right, so now I'm just going to chop this up. Come on. This is a little bit woodier than, you know, garlic, so it takes a little bit more work here. I need a new cutting board. That's why it's making so much noise, because it's not even anymore. It's warped. Next time I get over to a store that's got kitchen products, I will just get one. All right, that's pretty good. All right, scoop that up. I'll go over here. I got my container with all my spices here that I'm going to marinate in. All right, and then the only other thing I have to do here is the chicken itself. So let me move this. I got 4 thighs here, which I had in the freezer. I'm gonna pull the skins off. We don't want the skins. We're gonna debone this also. All right, super easy way to do it here. All right, it's just a thigh. Okay, you could go from this side. It doesn't matter. All right, this actually might be better. And then you go to this side and you just feel where the bone is, and you cut down that side. And now you got all this meat on top. So we'll just cut that off. Notice we're getting this little piece of stuff here we don't want. So we'll cut that off. Really? We will cut that off. Thank you. And then the underside here. Just be careful when you're doing this. You know, obviously you're working with a knife. You can cut yourself. Don't. Just pay attention to what you're doing. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp so it doesn't slip. And there you go. Deboned. And now we can cut this up into bite-sized pieces for our butter chicken, for our curry, which is what we're going to be making, essentially. I think butter chicken is a curry. If I'm wrong, somebody please let me know. I suppose I could look it up on Google, but I'm cooking right now. And by the time I go back to my computer, I will probably have forgot. Oh, got another little piece of bone or cartilage right there. Cut that out. So make sure you get those inedible pieces out if you want, because we don't want this to people to have to be spitting stuff out. That's icky. Anyway, this is gonna go right into the mix. All right, I got 3 more to do here. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll mix it all together and show you. Okay, I got all my chicken cut. So now I'm just gonna mix this up. There's not much to it. Just want everything to be nice and evenly coated. Make sure our spices are all mixed in well so that we don't have any big, you can see there's like bright reddish orange spots still in a couple places. I could have used a bigger spoon for this, but that's okay. All right, there we go. So I'm just gonna cover this with some plastic wrap and put it in the fridge for probably about the next hour and 30 minutes or so while I make the sauce. Actually, we'll have to grill this. So yeah, about an hour. I'm gonna get a marinade on this. That's it. I'll show you how to do the rest when I come back. Okay, the recipe calls for putting these on sticks and putting them under the broiler and flipping them. Too much work. I have a grill pan here. Hopefully you can see it. There it is. Okay. Got it over a couple burners here. So what I'm going to do is give it a spray with some vegetable spray real quick, just so stuff doesn't stick. And then we're going to crank the heat up on that. Let's see, that should be number 1 and number 3. There we go. And of course, you can't see it, but my small burner's there, so it's going to be much, you know what, I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to do it this way. So I have 2 hot burners going, instead of 1 big one and 1 small one, because that would just be uneven. All right, when this gets smoking hot, I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken on. I'll bring you back for that. We'll flip it, and then we'll take it off when it's done. But we want those char lines and all that good caramelization that's going to occur, because that's extra flavor, and it's delicious. So I will bring you back as soon as this is hot. Hopefully you're going to be able to hear me over the fan, because I've got it up a little bit high. I may even have to turn it up higher, because this is going to create smoke. I got some basmati rice going. It's going to take about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to cook. As soon as that boils, got my lid here. I'll put that on top and reduce the heat. And I'm just going to start our meat here, our chicken. Oh my God, guys, the aroma coming off of this is incredible. It smells so good. I was going to put that piece up there, then I realized all those pieces are cooked further along, and I didn't want to have to remember which piece that was. All right, I'm gonna just start flipping these. You could do these on the grill. You could do them like this. You could do them under your broiler. It doesn't matter. What we want is that, right? So that we got some color on there. That adds flavor. Some of this isn't quite as hot. So I'm going to let it go. I'm going to flip it. I'll bring you back. I'm going to take it off in a few minutes. You don't need to see it all, but that's what's going to happen. Okay, so this recipe calls for a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. And I don't have tomato sauce, so I do happen to have diced tomatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to use my immersion blender, and I'm going to whiz it and turn it into sauce. So just something you can do if you happen to have an immersion blender, or just a regular blender, you could do that. Anyway, so I'm going to go do that. Okay, there it is, all done, nice and smooth. It'll work. If it's a little thick, I can always add some water, so not a big deal. My wife laughed at me, though, because I said I was going to whiz it, which apparently I've been watching too much of the Great British Baking Show lately. So, anyway, I got green beans going. Going to do the sauce. Let's do the sauce. All right, it says to melt. Sorry, let me say this towards you. It says to melt 3 tablespoons of butter in the pan. This is about 2 right there. And there's another. So we'll get that going on medium here. All right. As soon as that is melted, we add in the tomato sauce. There we go. Then we have a special ingredient. Let me pull it out of the refrigerator. Okay, here's the special ingredient. They're called, oh, now I gotta say it right, fenugreek leaves. And I think I found them at Whole Foods. But it took a while to track these down. We need some of these. Actually, you don't need a lot of them. And in fact, I made it without them previously. The recipe says if you don't have them, you can add a tablespoon of maple syrup to the sauce at the very end, and it'll take care of it. And I think that's what I did previously. But I have these, so I'm going to use them. All right, our butter is melted and not browned at all. So now the tomato sauce goes in. Oh my God, I don't know where I am. Okay, here we go. Melt it. Pour in the tomato sauce. Lovely. Okay. I turned the heat off, so I'm going to turn it back on. Okay. Then stir in the fenugreek leaves. A 1/4 cup. Oh, that's an 1/8. Quarter cup. All right, I screwed this up already. The fenugreek leaves are supposed to be sitting in water to rehydrate for 15 minutes. So I'm going to go do that, and then I'll come back. Okay, while I'm waiting on those fenugreek leaves, I'm going to put together the other spices that are going to go into this. So, we got those fenugreek leaves. Those will go in. Then we need, it says, I need a place to put this. It says a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, which, as I said before, I'm not going to put that much in. This is the second little bit of cayenne, but I'm going to put in about third of a fourth. So that's what? A 12th. That's what we're going to call it. Just a little tiny bit. All right, next, 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. Oh, I was going to say something profound to you, like, and that's why you always read through your recipes completely before you begin, so you don't make stupid mistakes like that. Sugar. 3/4 of a teaspoon salt, kosher salt. Okay, there's my half. And my quarter. Okay. And then there's heavy cream it calls for. And I mentioned this earlier because I didn't have the yogurt. I don't have cream either. I'm going to use this sour cream. Hopefully it doesn't screw up the flavor too badly. But sour cream's got a really mild flavor. It will be thicker, so I may have to add a little bit water to this. But I'm not too worried about it. I don't mind a little bit thicker of a thicker sauce. So I think we'll be okay there. So I'm going to just set this aside for the moment and add the last ingredient, which is cumin. We're going to add a teaspoon of ground cumin. Cumin is a great spice. I just hate that it smells like BO. But so be it. Alright, I'm going to put this other stuff away. We got a few more minutes to wait on those fenugreek leaves, and then I'm going to go set the table, and then we'll be ready to finish. Okay, my fenugreek leaves are ready. So I'm just going to, it says to skim them off the top, so that's what I'm going to do. And they go in here. That should do. Alright. Alright, the fenugreek leaves go in. And all the spices. Okay, it says stirring that stuff, increase to medium-high. When the sauce begins to bubble, reduce it to medium-low. Cover and cook it for 12 to 15 minutes. And then after that, we're going to put the chicken in and the cream and a little bit of extra butter at the end. So that'll be it. So this is almost bubbling, almost boiling. I gotta get a lid, and then I'll come back in about 12 to 15 minutes. All right. It's been about 12 minutes. All right, I'm adding the chicken back in along with any juices, because that's what the recipe says. It says to add in the cream, which remember, supposed to be using 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream, but I only have sour cream, so this is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to cross my fingers. Hopefully, it'll be fine. I really don't expect it to be a problem. Okay. Ooh, does that taste good? Okay. Says to cover for 6 to 8 more minutes. I'm going to go ahead and set my timer here. And we will be back in 6 or 8 minutes. Okay, it's been about 7 minutes. Take off the lid here and get rid of that. All right, last step here. Add a tablespoon of butter. Stir it in. All right, that's it. Dinner! Okay. So to serve this, just make a stack of rice. This is basmati rice, which I think it just means it's from India, but I honestly don't know. What does basmati rice mean? Somebody Google that for me. All right, and then let's take some of our curry, our butter chicken that goes on top. And that's it. I'm gonna get some green beans too, but bon appetit.
If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. Subscribe to Sandi Cooks so you don't miss any new recipes.